Today I'm talking about the top 10 things you can do to cleanse your liver. And many of these things are things you could be doing every single day to keep your liver cleansing itself and detoxifying properly. You see, most people, when it comes to liver function, they have very congested bile ducts. So bile is something that the liver produces. We store it in our gallbladder, and bile is a way that our liver takes toxins in, deactivates them, and then puts them into the bile. And that's one way that we eliminate particularly fat-soluble toxins. We get them into the bile. The bile goes into the stool, into our poop, basically, and helps create our poop. It's what gives our poop a brown color. But for many people, they have very thick and congested bile ducts. So their bile is very thick. It's not flowing well. The bile ducts, which are kind of the little openings, the channels that the bile flows through, can be very congested and scarred, and the bile's not moving quickly, and therefore toxins are backing up into our system. And so these are the things that we can do to help move the bile, to create really thin bile that moves through our system and eliminates toxins effectively. Number one is an organic diet. So we want a diet that's high in nutrients and low in toxins. So we know when we're consuming a lot of conventional produce, conventional animal products, processed foods in general, that's gonna have a lot of chemicals and it's gonna have less nutrients. We need maximal nutrients, minimal toxins. So going as organic as possible with our diet is super key. Trying to get foods that are fresh. When it comes to animal products, getting them grass-fed, organic, or with seafood, getting it wild caught. That's gonna give us more nutrients, less toxins. Number two is intermittent fasting. It takes about 12 hours for our liver to really undergo a full detoxification cycle and have all the blood run through the liver enough to be able to pull and deactivate the toxins. And so if we're constantly consuming food, that's a main carrier for toxins coming into our body, is the food we're consuming. Also, when we're eating food, it slows down liver function. So the liver now has to work on a lot of other things, a lot of additional things. So it slows down overall function. Now, of course, we need to eat and we want to enjoy our food. And that's also critical to get the nutrients for liver detoxification. But we need to take a break without stressing the liver. So I recommend a minimum of 12 hours overnight between your last meal and your first meal. And ideally pushing that window without eating to 14, 16, maybe even 18 hours on a regular basis. And you may fluctuate that. You may one day do 14 hours, the next day do 16 or 18, that's fine. But at a minimum 12 hours, and ideally compressing the eating window to a shorter period of time where you're eating in, let's say, a 6 or 8 or 10-hour eating window, and you're fasting, not consuming food, for 12, 14, 16, 18 hours. And that's gonna give the liver a lot of time to really process, deactivate toxins, and set them up for elimination. We eliminate toxins through the air we breathe, through through respiration, through sweating, through our poop, our defecation, and through our urination. And the liver wants to do everything it can to deactivate these toxins, take them from a storage form in the body to a form that we can effectively eliminate, but it needs the time to do it. Intermittent fasting helps give us the time. Number three is liquid nutrition. In general, we want to be really well hydrated. That's key. We want things moving through our body like a river, not stagnant like a pond. So we need to keep things moving. So good hydration is key. And then by liquid nutrition, if we can consume a percentage of our calories and a percentage of our nutrients through a liquid form, that puts less stress on our overall digestive system. And that allows the liver to work even better. So if we're doing, let's say, a protein shake, we're replacing one of our meals, let's say we eat 3 meals a day, we replace one of those with a protein shake where we take something like maybe an unsweetened coconut milk, or I like to use raw grass-fed milk, but many people are not able to get that, number one, or they don't do well with dairy. So you can use an unsweetened coconut milk or perhaps an unsweetened almond milk or something like that. You take that, right, as a base, you put in good quality protein powder. It could be a grass-fed whey protein. It could be some sort of a good high quality organic plant protein that you put in there. You could put berries. I like to use frozen berries in my shakes. I put avocado in there. You can put a lot of different things. You can even put a multivitamin in there. And many protein powders actually have like a full multivitamin in them. So you can put that in there And you can consume it and it tastes really good if you do it right, if you make one of these kind of shakes really, really well. I like to put a lot of protein in mine. I'm trying to go for 50 plus grams of protein in my protein shakes, so I get a lot of highly bioavailable, absorbable protein, which we actually need for liver detoxification, but it's in a way, it's in a form that's easy to digest because the blender has already done the job. It's in a powder form, it's blended, it's very easy to absorb, very bioavailable. So I get the benefits of the protein, the benefits of the nutrients that I've put in this shake without overstressing my digestive system, which allows the liver to work better. So replace one of your meals with a good quality protein shake. You may also consider doing like green drinks and things like that. Juicing greens can be really beneficial for supporting your liver. In particular, I like things like arugula, which is a lower oxalate green. I think that's a really good base. You can do things like green apple in there, lemon, lime, cucumbers. All of those things can be really, really well. I try to do a lower oxalate green juice because if we bombard our system with too much oxalate, some people can metabolize them well, but for many people they can cause more issues. So spinach would be really high oxalate, chard would be high oxalate. Those would be kind of some of the ones that you'd want to avoid. Beets are higher oxalate, but you can do carrots, you can do arugula, like I mentioned, cucumber, which provides a really good base because it creates a lot of water, a lot of liquid for the green juice, right? So that can work really well. Lemons, limes, apples, Granny Smith apples in particular can be really, really effective here for supporting, getting more liquid nutrition to our body and supporting liver detoxification. You can also add in bitter herbs. I'm a huge advocate of bitter being good for your liver. So research has shown that. So things like parsley, cilantro, dandelion, you can add these to green juices, or you can just take them in like a tea form as well, or just take parsley and add it to your meats, your salads, things like that. You just kind of add some parsley, and that bitter herb is really good for thinning the bile, opening up and dilating those bile ducts to eliminate the toxins. Also really good for the kidneys, which are another main detoxification system of our body as well, where we need to urinate out toxins. So bitter herbs, you can get those in tea, salad. You can also get them in supplements. Things like, obviously ginger, you can do a tea with that. But there's also supplements that have ginger compounds in them. Milk thistle, probably one of the most powerful liver detoxifying herbs out there. In fact, any really good liver-based supplement that's worth its weight is going to have a really good form of milk thistle. Usually 250 milligrams to 500 milligrams or so is kind of your typical dose of milk thistle, and I would recommend using that. I find that when I put people on a milk thistle-based supplement, they get better, right? Their body gets better. Their liver functions better. They're able to detoxify more effectively. It's something I personally take on a regular basis with our toxic environment that we're in, and I find that most people do really, really well with a milk thistle-based liver support type supplement. So I think that can be really helpful. Lemon water, particularly like warm lemon water in the morning when you first wake up, or some sort of warm herbal beverage can be really helpful. Lemon water, lemon is rich in vitamin C, bioflavonoids, which enhance oxygenation to all the tissues of our body. So that's really key. Lemon's also rich in electrolytes that can be really, really beneficial as well. And the warmth and kind of the tartness of the lemon help activate what we call our vagus nerve, which is the cranial nerve 10 runs from our brainstem down into our liver, right? And it helps activate the production of bile, as well as stomach acid, pancreatic enzymes. So it's really key for helping us eliminate toxins. So drinking some warm lemon water in the morning and then just hydrating well throughout the day, really effective. You can also do, like we said, ginger tea, things like that. Coffee, right, actually can be really helpful. If you handle coffee well, coffee is a bitter herb, so that's great for liver function. Obviously, if you get too much caffeine, it's going to overwhelm your liver. But if you get the right dosage for you that your body can metabolize well, drinking coffee can be really, really helpful for overall liver function. Green tea as well, right, can be really, really helpful. Now, coffee enemas, so we were talking about drinking coffee. Coffee enemas, we're putting coffee up the other end. And coffee enemas have been shown to help dilate the bile ducts and help us really move bile effectively. Some reports have said that coffee enemas could really increase glutathione levels, which is the major antioxidant and a key part of phase 2 liver detoxification. Some reports have said it can increase glutathione levels 600 to 700%. Now, I haven't found good research to back that up, but what I have found is that coffee enemas are used in every natural-based cancer clinic or integrative cancer clinic that I know of. They recommend using coffee enemas. It's part of their natural the regimen that they put their clients on. It's something I think can be really helpful and effective. And so if you're not dealing with a chronic illness, you might just do a coffee enema once a month, right? But if you're dealing with chronic autoimmune conditions, if you're dealing with cancer, if you're dealing with a lot of these, a myriad of different health issues, you may consider doing coffee enemas more frequently to get the liver health benefits from them and the gut health benefits, because they help sweep out bad bacteria, bad microorganisms as well. So perhaps doing it once or twice a week or even every day, that can be really, really, really helpful to help support liver detoxification. Castor oil packs. This is something simple that you can be doing every day. You get a flannel, and some companies actually sell like a full kind of castor oil kit, or you can just get a flannel or a towel and put a tablespoon or two of castor oil on it and kind of spread it in, and then you put it on like right over your liver, which is your upper right quadrant, and you wrap it around and tie it. And you put it in there and you let it sit for 45 to 60 minutes. So a lot of people will do it overnight. They'll just put it on before they go to bed, and then when we wake up in the morning, they take it off, kind of clean the area, because castor oil can be like a real thick oil, but enough of the main ingredient, the racinoleic acid, will have penetrated into the system, and it has a very powerful dilating effect on the bile ducts. It helps thin the bile. So again, the issue will be really thick, congested bile, and then also bile ducts that aren't dilating well. They're not opening up well. So it will actually impact both of those things. One of the most powerful things you can be doing on a regular basis, really, really simple to do to help support liver health. So castor oil packs, oil pulling. This is also really easy. One of the main ways we're getting actually more toxins into our system. We talk about a lot of the toxins in our environment, but we also have what we call endotoxins. These are toxins produced in the body. They're produced by microorganisms. So we have a lot of bacteria in our mouth, and those bacteria are producing toxins. This is what causes bad breath in the morning. Like morning breath is a result of endotoxins in our mouth that we're now breathing out. And so because the mouth gets drier at night, that is going to create a breeding ground for these endotoxins. We're not going to be sweeping them out of our system. We wake up in the morning, if we're swallowing those endotoxins, they go into our system, and now our liver's got to work. So one of the key things I do is I will take a little bit of coconut oil, like a half a teaspoon or so, put it in my mouth before I swallow, and I'll just swish it around, and that coconut oil will grab up these endotoxins. It will grab as many of these as possible. I always go outside. That's what I like to do. I stretch my body. I'm gonna try to be in a state of gratitude, and I'll just swish that coconut oil for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I spit it out, right? And it grabs as much of those endotoxins as possible, puts more or less stress on the liver, and really helps clean out your oral microbiome. So it's one of the best things you can do. Very simple, easy to do. Number 9, this is a little bit more complicated because you got to have access to an infrared sauna, but doing infrared sauna can be really powerful. Infrared technology in general penetrates deep into the body and will actually help flush toxins out of your fat cells, and it will actually help improve liver function. And so getting in some sort of an infrared sauna. Now, it doesn't need to be a fancy, wooden infrared sauna. It doesn't need to be like that. Nowadays, they have sauna blankets. I'm a huge advocate of using a sauna blanket. My wife and I were fortunate enough to have both a wooden sauna and a sauna blanket. And I'll tell you, we actually use a sauna blanket more often because we have it in our living room. We just kind of have it in the corner. It's easy to pull out. It's portable. We tuck it away. We pull it out. We'll get in that. And to some degree, it's more comfortable because we're not getting our head doesn't feel the heat. It's just on our body. So your head can stick out. You can watch TV, watch a movie. You can have a conversation really easily with somebody that's not in it. Meanwhile, your body is getting the benefits of the infrared. You're sweating in there. And so you're helping eliminate these toxins and activate the liver. So, and it's cheap. It's a lot more affordable for many people than the wooden, $5,000 infrared sauna. You can get, a blanket sauna for $600-700, and it can work, really just as well for you. and support your lifestyle, and doesn't take up as much space either. So that can be really helpful. Okay, and then number 10, and this may be the most important thing, is deal with anger and unforgiveness. In Chinese medicine, the liver is where we actually hold on to anger, bitterness, and unforgiveness. And so if you were dealing with anger, bitterness, and unforgiveness, and you may not even consciously be aware of it, but if you're holding on to that, maybe from early childhood wounds, maybe from something somebody said or did, it could have even just been that day or that week, okay? Or it could have been, many years ago. If you're holding on to that, that is gonna cause stagnation in your liver. Your liver is gonna become more congested, the bile is not gonna flow through there well, and you're not gonna get well. So you can do all these things right here, but if you don't deal with the anger and the bitterness and really cultivate an attitude of gratitude, right? And this can take a lot of prayer, spiritual work, mental, emotional work, maybe see a counselor. If you don't deal with that, you're not going to be able to cleanse and detoxify your liver effectively. So make sure you're addressing that. Make sure that you are filling your life with things that you're grateful for, things that you're thankful for, and constantly reiterating that. If you have bitterness and unforgiveness towards something somebody did, do everything you can on your part to offer forgiveness, love, support, and just take that weight off of yourself. So your liver, it's like a brake on the livers. We want to take the brake off so the liver can do what it needs to do, cleanse and detoxify our body. If you do that, this is an amazing lifestyle to help really turn around any sort of chronic disease. It's really a foundation for reversing chronic disease. It's a foundation for preventing the development of chronic disease. It's a foundation for a life where you really thrive with optimal health. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my channel, browse the various videos that I've done on similar topics, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. That way you get notified whenever I put up a new video training. Thanks so much for being a part of our community here, and I really hope you enjoy the videos that we're putting out on a regular basis. Be blessed.